All right, the International Fastener Expo is right around the corner. We are headed out to Las Vegas September 9th through the 11th, and to kick off the Expo floor, we have got a great keynote coming at you from Beau. I've got Beau here with me today. Beau, thanks so much for joining me. Are you excited to get out to Las Vegas?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, and I'm super excited to go to Vegas. Any reason to get out to Las Vegas is a good reason to go.
I agree with you. We really don't have to twist a lot of arms to get over there. There's so much to do. Of course, at the Fastener Expo, we've got the expo floor, the conferences, the workshops, and your keynote, which is going to be held on Tuesday morning at 8:30, right before the expo floor opens, on the 4 straightforward components of exceptional execution. So, without giving away all the secret sauce, what can people expect from your keynote? What are some of the takeaways?
Yeah, and I'm not going to share my secret sauce. You got to come to the expo to hear the secret sauce, but the summary, I think, is we as people, all of us, tend to overcomplicate things, and we can get wrapped around the axle in a whole bunch of gray areas that need not exist. And so my colleague and I have been working for almost a decade on how do we simplify and refine the methodology and the approach to say, all right, how do we get really, really consistent on how we run our operations? And so what we've refined it down to is 4 very straightforward questions that exist at all levels on every project, every initiative, every challenge that you're facing. And so I'm hoping that folks come to the keynote will hear that and be able to take something away that they can go apply immediately after the keynote.
Absolutely. And I know this industry is very special, the fastener industry. You work with a lot of different industries, but really focused kind of on the industrial side. But now what kind of drew you to the industrial side of the business, and specifically the fastener industry?
Yeah, it's just an industry that I love. My full-time job is Lean Six Sigma leadership development across the industrial space. And when you think about that body of work, it's problem solving, and I think the fastener industry in particular are incredibly adept at solving problems, right? How do we attach these things together? How do we hold this together? How do we ensure the strength and rigidity of the thing that we're working on? So it's a natural alignment, I guess, between my natural inclinations and the fastener industry. And if you think about it, Christina, the fastener industry really holds our society together. So our cars, our houses, our buildings, our offices are all held together by various fasteners, and I'm super excited to be hanging out with these guys and gals.
Yes, it is a special group indeed. As everybody gets back together for the Fastener Expo, it's that one time a year where everybody gets face to face. I hear a lot of people call it a bit of a reunion for the year of sorts, but for the attendees that are coming for the first time, or even they've been to lots of different trade shows, just in general, what do you advise business owners and professionals the way that they approach trade shows as a whole? We're so busy booking our flights and hotels and that too. What's a good way to look at it?
I think it mirrors the way we should run our lives. So if you're going to a trade show, go into it with a deliberate plan, a purpose. So we like to think about trade shows that we're attending or we're showing at in terms of how many people do we want to meet? How many connections do we want to make? How many problems are we trying to solve by talking to other people in our industry that have probably faced off and solved some of those problems? And then a fun one that we like to challenge ourselves with is how many people can we help? So people are going out there to solve problems, whether it be in the business or sales or operations or new ideas or whatever. And if you go into it with the intent of how many people can I help while I'm there, maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3, but you intentionally look for people who need help. It's a great way and very rewarding. And then when you're leaving the trade show, you feel like you've accomplished something. You're leaving there with hopefully excitement and hey, let's go get after it. I just met this great trade show. Now I'm fired up with these new ideas, these new connections, and these new people that I just helped. And it's very inspiring, to head into Q4 of the year.
I love that, and I love getting really specific about those numbers, and just spending a little bit of time thinking and planning before you go. That's going to make a big difference. With Fastener Expo being at kind of towards the end of the year, like you said, Q3 to Q4, What are you hearing from business owners? What's everybody working towards for 2025, really in the year ahead?
Yeah, so it's the planning season, right? So as we wrap up 2024, everyone's looking forward to 2025. There's a lot of moving pieces. We've got the election in November. We've got all kinds of things going on in the economy. So we use a phrase with our business customers, colleagues, called blinding clarity. And by that, we mean, let's get real clear on what we're trying to do in 2025. Why does it matter? What does it mean for our people? How does it help? So as we're heading through this Fastener Expo, which is at a great time near the end of Q3, Q4 is planning for Q1 of 2025. So go into it with that intentionality of saying, all right, organization, here's where we're going, here's why it matters, here's what's in it for you. So as we start that communication process, once the plan is in place, people can buy into it and latch onto it and get fired up about what 2025 holds in store for them.
Well, we love that. We want to see everybody fired up at the Fastener Expo. And of course, kicking it off with the keynote right there at the expo floor. You're not in a separate room, so that'll be a good way to kick it off and to go into that. Well, Beau, thank you so much for your time today. I'm going to let you get back to it, and we're going to see you out in Las Vegas soon. And thank you so much for those watching. There is still time for you and your team to get registered for the International Fastener Expo, September 9th through the 11th, 2024. Visit fastenershows.com, and registration is still open. So we'll see you out in Las Vegas. Thanks, Beau. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.